Hello everyone, it's Jimmy here and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to review a very important lens in the lens history, which is the Carl Zeiss 50mm C-sonnar. This is a very important lens because it's a design dating back to the late 1920s, early 1930s, if you believe it. So it's a very old school design. But of course, this is a new incarnation of that design. This is a lens I've meant to test for a long time. I just couldn't get my hands on a black one that is with the latest adjustments, by which I mean this lens is notoriously known for its back focusing issues, focus shift issues. So they kind of optimized the focus point for different apertures. I learned that in the old times it was around 2.8, and then these days it's usually around 1.5. So basically when it's wide open, it should be tack sharp and the focus should be spot on. But as you stop the lens down, there's a little bit of back focusing issues. From my testing, on my copy, which is the newer model with a serial number starts with 51, this lens is tack sharp at 1.5. And as you stop down to maybe F4, I would say, you start to notice a little bit focus shift. Not a little bit, actually quite a bit, but since the depth of the field becomes bigger as you stop the lens down naturally, so it sort of, compensates for that. And also this means if your subject is closer to you, you'll notice this focus shift a little bit more because the depth of field is a little bit narrower, right? But if your subject is further away, then this is less of an issue. So yeah, enough chit chat. Let's first take a look at the sample photos I've taken with this lens. Alright, so yeah, it's a very characterful lens. I actually liked it quite a bit when I look at the files. So today I'm going to compare it with another lens that I've reviewed recently, which is the Voigtlander Nokton 50mm f1.5. Now, as you can see here, design-wise, I mean not optical design, but like lens barrel design-wise, they're very similar. They're also both produced by Cosina Voigtlander in Japan. So they're built in the same factory, probably use the same coatings, and they're also priced very comparably. Now, so this is the brass and nickel version of the lens. There's another matte black version of the lens, which I would say looks even closer to the Zeiss 50mm. So a lot of people are, comparing these two lenses and asking me which one they should take. Therefore, I've made an optical comparison review today, and it's also a little bit more interesting this time. I've included a few more scenes, so to speak, because some people mention in Jimmy's testing is always boring, my bookshelf, a static, lifeless object. So yeah, it's gonna be more interesting this time around because mainly I want to look at the rendering difference of these two lenses. By rendering, I mean the out of focus area, the bokeh, how they differ, and also the transition zone, all that kind of stuff. And of course, at the end, we'll look at the sharpness as well. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright, so as you can see, even though these two lenses look quite alike from their appearance, but they cannot be more different. Their rendering is like day and night completely different, right? So the Nokton, being a modern aspherical design lens, it's of course quite a bit sharper and falls off a little bit slower, meaning towards the edge of the frame, it's a lot sharper than the Zeiss C-sonnar here. Center sharpness wise, as you can tell, there's a difference, but it's not that meaningful of a difference. I would say the Zeiss has to stop down to 2.8 at least to catch up with the Nokton. In terms of out of focus area rendering, as you see, the Nokton has this swirling bokeh, which is very reminiscent of some of the older designs, but it's a modern lens. That's why I love this lens so much, and it's becoming one of my favorite 50mm lenses. As I've mentioned, it's got both new and old optical quality to it, by which I mean it's sharp, right? It's comparable, almost comparable with the Leica Summilux lenses, but it's also got this very retro rendering to it. And the Zeiss C-sonnar bokeh is very unique as well. And you also notice that the Nokton tend to give you this more cat's eye sort of elongated shaped bokeh balls on the edge of the frame, while the Zeiss C-sonnar is a little bit more rounded, but it's not perfectly round shape. They're just different, right? I actually prefer the Nokton when it comes to bokeh, but that's just my preference. The Nokton has a little bit better of a flare resistance, I would say, as you can see from this picture here. But the Zeiss has a much wider coverage, meaning it's got much less vignette wide open, right? While the Nokton got quite heavy of a vignette, and I've mentioned it multiple times in my previous videos. So yeah, they each have their own strengths and weaknesses, but I would say overall, the Nokton is a much more well-rounded lens. So I would say if you're only to have one 50mm lens, which is unlikely for us Leica shooters, but still, if you want to have one, I would say one fast yet size-wise manageable lens, then the Nokton still is my best choice. But if you've already got your Leica Summilux lens, then this Zeiss lens here could be a very good option for that, character lens, sort of like a mini Noctilux in a sense, right? Because 1.5 is quite fast already, and the rendering of this lens is very, very unique. It's also a little bit less contrasty than these modern lenses, even though I'm pretty sure it's got very modern lens coatings. If you enjoy that sort of lower contrast look, if you want a bigger sensor coverage to use it on your medium format systems, this might be a very, very good choice. Now, last but not the least, the Zeiss C-sonnar is a piece of history to own, because very few lenses these days are, of an older design, but comes in a brand new package, right? You can buy a new with warranty, so there's less issues to worry about. If there's problem with the glass or fungus, all these kind of nasty stuff if you're buying a true old lens. So it's sort of like the Leica retro line, right? The Noctilux 1.2 remake or the Steel Rim remake. It's got that sort of charm to it, but it comes with a much lower price tag. So yeah, if you're into retro kind of looking glass, then this is a very, very good choice. Okay, I guess that's it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.